Before Nona, there was Nona. In recent months, the name Nona has gained significant attention. Under the global label 88 Rising, the group debuted with Shoot and followed up with Work, presenting a confident, groove-driven identity aimed clearly at an international audience. But for some viewers in Southeast Asia, that name feels familiar. Because before Nona, there was already a girl group called Nona, from Malaysia, debuting in 2021. This detail matters, because it changes the conversation entirely. This is not a story of different generations separated by decades. This is a story of two groups emerging in the same digital era, but choosing very different paths. Nona debuted in 2021, in the same streaming-driven landscape that defines today's music industry. They arrived in an era dominated by YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, and visual-first consumption, the same ecosystem that Nona operates in today. Musically, Nona positioned themselves within regional pop sensibilities. Their work emphasized clear pop song structures, melodic accessibility, Malay language lyrics, a culturally grounded and approachable image. The name Nona, meaning young woman in Malay, was a deliberate and literal identity choice. It immediately anchored the group within local culture and regional familiarity. Their strategy was not outdated, it was intentional. Nona focused on connection with a specific audience, rather than immediate global reach. Nona also emerged in the streaming era, but from a very different launchpad. Backed by 88 Rising, Nona was positioned internationally from the start. Their name is stylized in lowercase, their music avoids explicit cultural labeling, and their sound prioritizes groove, performance, and visual impact over linguistic or regional specificity. Nona does not explain where they come from. They simply exist, confidently, in global pop space. This contrast is crucial, because now the question is no longer about time. It's about strategy. Both Nona and Nona debuted in the same modern music ecosystem. Streaming as the primary platform, social media as the main promotional engine, and visual identity as a core musical component. Yet their approaches diverge sharply. Nona represents a regional-first strategy, language as cultural connection, identity as clarity, and music as accessibility. While Nona represents a global-first strategy, language as texture rather than message, identity as fluid and symbolic, and music as performance and groove. This is not about one being more modern than the other. It is about two valid responses to the same industry conditions. Because both groups exist in the same era, the shared name Nona becomes even more interesting. For Nona from Malaysia, the name functions as definition. It tells you who they are and who they speak to. For Nona from Indonesia, the name functions as suggestion. It hints at Southeast Asian identity without confining it. This difference reflects how identity itself is treated differently. Nona names identity directly. Nona lets identity breathe. So the more accurate question becomes, why do two girl groups, debuting in the same era, choose such different ways to represent Southeast Asian femininity? Perhaps the answer lies in opportunity and infrastructure. One group builds strength through regional roots. The other moves through global networks. Neither approach is accidental. Neither is inferior. They are parallel paths, not repetitions. Nona does not erase Nona's presence. Instead, their existence together shows how Southeast Asian girl groups are diversifying. There is now room for groups that speak directly to local audiences, groups that operate fluidly across borders. This coexistence is a sign of growth, not competition. The shared name between Nona from Malaysia and Nona from Indonesia is not evidence of copying, nor of historical overlap. It is evidence of something more interesting. That Southeast Asian girl groups are exploring multiple identities at once, within the same era, using different strategies to navigate the same global industry. The name may be similar. The timing may overlap. But the stories they tell, and the spaces they occupy, are distinct. And that distinction is exactly what makes this moment in Southeast Asian pop culture worth paying attention to. Do you think these two groups represent different choices, or the future of Southeast Asian pop expanding in more than one direction?